Guys, what's good? What's good? What's up with everyone? Hey, let me just check. Okay, what the fuck? Let me just check if my voice is coming clear. My voice is coming clear. One sec. Let me check. Okay, it's coming. So, what's up with everyone? How's everyone doing? Yeah, I just streamed like 2 hours ago, but I had to end my stream. I'm really sorry. My mother called. My friend was talking, and I cut the call. My mother called. She had some work. I did her work, and then I relaxed a little, ate food. Today is Sunday, so yeah, I'm alone again, free again. No one's there at home again, so I started streaming again. I did not stream Call of Duty now because that game is actually not fun anymore. You know, the time right now is probably night, and probably most of the time it's night time right now for the main regions, I think so, which play Call of Duty. So if I hop on at 2 a.m. or something, the matchmaking would be quite quick. So right now it's not worth it to go for Call of Duty. I already played GTA. Apex is already there on my channel. I thought, why not, let's just try a few games of or FIFA. So let's do this. You know, I'm kind of a nerd. I saw that doing all this formations and customization makes you nerd, you know, like, oh my god, bro's going into all those everything. But yeah, I just want to do like a quick 1 second of Ronaldo aggressive interceptions. This, I want to go in roles and make him a captain. That's it. I want to go in game time. 8 minutes, amateur. Yeah, I'm doing amateur because I don't want to rage. I just want a quick relaxing that. I just want a classic relaxing match. So what's up? How you guys have been, bro? You know, sorry, I was drinking water. So I was thinking to make a GIF. See, the profile picture right now which I have is Skittles from the popular channel Beluga. I like the Skittles character very much, so I put the picture. But if I'm streaming, I should not put any other person's character as mine. So I was thinking, what should I do? What should I pick? Which GIF should I pick? I feel like you have to make one, because if any GIF, if I would select it, if GIF I'm selecting, that is already used, you know what I mean? So I don't know, I just want to change my GIF. And there's an option where if you watch the video, on the right side of the video there's an option of GIF, and under that is a subscribe button, so that the same GIF is also used there, so it is quite important. I kind of like this. What? That weather, that feels weird. There's a line of sunlight over here on this part. I like that. And of course we chose Cristiano Ronaldo. Dude, if you guys have noticed, I'm playing FIFA 2019. I actually wanted to buy, but these 2 hours which I have been, I tried to buy the FIFA 2000 FC 24. But the problem was I need 1000 as wallet top up. I buy it from PlayStation because it is cheap right now. It's just 1000 rupees. It's very cheap right now. It's 80% off. So I wanted to buy from FIFA main that. Not main, I mean PlayStation Store. But I need wallet top up. I don't put my credit card slash debit card in the PlayStation Store. I do wallet top ups, redeem code, and then I do from that. That's a shit corner. That's a shit corner. So yeah, I wanted to do that, but the payment on Amazon is just failing right now. So yeah, I'll probably try it at night time, download it and play it tomorrow for you guys. I'm actually really excited myself to play that game, as it is a really fun and enjoying game. But the problem is the Ronaldo will be in Al Nassr, and I don't know how to feel about that. I actually want, and I'm thinking of buying FIFA 2018. This is FIFA 2019. FIFA 2018, I think so. Messi will also be there. Right now, Messi is in that Barcelona, I think so. I don't know, but I feel like it's better. 2018, I think so. I don't know. I forgot the soft side. I forgot which was it. Is it either it is Messi being in PSG or I don't think so. That's after Barcelona. I feel like.
Good place to win the ball here.
It's like Ronaldo. I think so in Juventus. U. It's a U, like a yawn, not a Juan, like a yawn. J-U-A-N, yawn, like that. Juan, like a Juan, like Juventus. Ooh, that's a nice throw.
Oh, he's had a go. Good block.
I'm playing shit FIFA. Please do not, see, judge my FIFA, bro. I'm just relaxing with you guys, talking to you guys about what I'm actually concentrating on the talking more than on the gaming. Because if you want to see pro gameplay, if I try my 100%, then also you'll see better gameplay than mine. So yeah, it was it Ronaldo. Guys, I'm telling you, if I score a goal with Ronaldo, please reduce your volume. I am going to shout C. So and I'm telling you I will shout it, so just reduce your earphones volume. I'm really sorry if anybody got hurt by that. See, I was saying, reduce earphone volume. See, I'm going to reduce that volume. It's hurting now. I actually totally forgot what I was talking about. Yeah, FC24. 2018. I don't like the new FIFA because there's just FIFA career which I have not actually followed. So it's not like a career which I want to watch, like FIFA my career. I feel like only the teams are changing, and I feel like I don't want.
Now Dani Alves.
I do not want my GOATs Ronaldo and Messi to be in that totally different teams with the other good players like Neymar, and I want them like Marcelo, Ramos, that all those players of Real Madrid with PSG as Neymar, Mbappe and Messi in both the different teams. I want Mbappe, Messi and Neymar in PSG, and I want this 2018 Prime Madrid, Real Madrid. I want that. And in new FIFAs, it's not that. It's Messi in Inter Miami, Ronaldo in Al Nassr, Sergio Ramos in different team. I want those people to be in almost same team so that I can play with them. I don't want to play with the new generation. Alright, you may that argue that don't you want to play with Haaland? I can play with Haaland in this team. I feel like if he has almost won the Ballon d'Or, what the fuck? Ballon d'Or, that means he must be playing from 2018. So he must be in this game. If I want to play, I can play from this game. FC 24, you know, I actually don't know the difference between FIFA and FC. I feel like it's, I don't know the difference. That's why I want to buy and see what's the difference. Because there's FIFA and there's FC 24. Because I don't follow FIFA that much. I want to follow football, but I don't follow that much because it's kind of hard to follow football because anything which they do is at night time. For me, it's at 2 a.m. They do this Ballon d'Or, which I watched this year when the Messi won its 8th Ballon d'Or. I watched it. It was 2 a.m. for me. It started at 11:30, and the Ballon d'Or, when Messi won it, it was at 2 a.m. So it's kind of hard for me to watch it, all those matches. Plus, it's because of my studies and all that, you know. But you know what's the best part about my studies is that it's gonna over in 2026, mid 2025, and World Cup is in 2026. GTA is in late 2025. So basically my studies are going to be over before anything major is going to happen, like World Cup or shit like that. So I'm really happy about that. And that's Pjanic, right? Yo, good job.
Well, there is a
That's
big
the thing
between these two teams, and that goal has meant it's reflected in the scoreline.
I think it's going to be a strong here on in because they've got a big cushion, rightly so, well into the lead.
Oh, I had a question. Would you, right now, as your current situation right now, or if you are living a comfortable life right now, think of your struggle time, and don't think that do not see, first of all, two types of people: who are in struggling stage and who are not at struggling stage. They have struggled and they have achieved. So first of all, struggling stage, think of as right now this question as, and people who have succeed, they are successful now. Think of your struggling stage and imagine, and don't take the perspective of what you are today. Like, you don't know the future. You don't know the future. You can be 200% unsuccessful like that. So the question is that would you be born, die right now, and born, basically be disabled with your current life? Only the thing is you will be disabled, but you would automatically have $1 billion in your bank account, $1 billion in your bank account, but you will be disabled. Take it as right now you are fit and fine, okay, so you are going to have a car accident in which you will get disabled. What I mean by disabled is you are not going to have any legs and your brain is going to be slightly damaged and shit like that. Basically you will look weird and shit. You will lose some of the basic things that most humans take for advantage, like walking, and you will have basic brain damage, mild brain damage. What's basic? It's not like intense brain damage. Mild brain damage. But you would instantly get $1 billion in your bank account, tax free. Yeah, tax free. Not tax free like you will get, if you spend you have to pay tax, but yeah, they will not take 30% of it. Would you do it? Tell me in the comments if anyone's watching. I feel like I would not actually. I know $1 billion is you know, that's the thing. I cannot actually answer this question because it's like, how much if I struggle I won't make $1 billion. But the thing is, you start, if you don't have money right now and you instantly get money, then you make poor choices. You make poor choices. There are so many examples of people winning lotteries and then using that money being not financially educated and making bad financial decisions and losing that money. So I don't want to be disabled and poor with stupid that depreciating assets. Like, it's stupid, right? I would add, if I am financially, see, that's also a thing. You are getting mild brain damage. Mild brain damage you are getting. So if I am totally financial, that not stupid and financially intelligent, then I would consider taking the that deal. Because if I'm not financially stable, I would just spend like $1 billion. That's let's go. Let's buy like a Bugatti. Let's buy 5 cars. Let's buy like a fucking. Let's go to bar and give everyone shots for free. Buy Gucci. Buy Hermes purse for my girlfriend, which would have been a gold digger because I did not. I am stupid. I have brain damage. I am not disabled. Of course, no one will want me if I am poor. So yeah, I would have got like a gold digger. I'm buying Hermes for her, wasting my money buying Balenciaga stupid trash bags outfit, and then the next day I'm buying mansions, unnecessary mansions which are very costly, in tax wise also and maintaining wise, and then within time I will lose all the money. So I don't know if I'm not financially that intelligent, I would not even consider taking the option. And as Iman Ghazi said, slow success builds character, fast success builds ego. So don't pray for it to come fast. Pray for it to stay, to have the wisdom so that it stays. You know, that's a very deep line. I kind of felt that because I have seen ego. I've seen people. I've seen ego. I have seen people with ego, with money and ego, and I have also seen humble people with money. But the thing is, the egoistic people always someday or other has needed my help. I've seen that. Not needed my help, not mine also, but in general, they look like that they are struggling. They have started. What the fuck? They have started struggling again. So yeah, you know, this kind of coincides with the idea of education too. That I've seen egoistic people who got fast success either from lottery money or shit like that they are not well educated also. And sometimes people bring up the fact that why is education important? Education is not important. I don't need education to make money. And I think education is really important for you. Like, you need education. Now you would say history. I am saying history is also important. There's a quote which says that why will I replace Ronaldo, substitute Ronaldo? There's a quote, I don't know the exact quote. It's like, if you don't know the history, you're doomed to repeat it. And that's actually true. See what happened. See what happens with education is that it gives you patience. Education builds your patience. One sec, let me reduce this game volume, it's too much. Education builds patience. Education gives you character. Education opens your mind. Education gives you the power to think in stressful and in situations full of anxiety. Now, which is that situation? It's exams. You have to use 100% of your mind in very anxious situation. That's what education gives you.
got good contact on the ball.
It's not somewhat, it's not the knowledge about retaining the knowledge, it's about building the habits about it. Like, I can be completely wrong, but I feel like that. Like, yeah, 90% is about the knowledge, but 10% is like that, about learning. Why is it given us this way? Why are we made to learn these things? Like, some of them I agree is stupid, like learning lakes. Like, I heard from a shorts that you have to learn the names of the lakes in US. Yeah, that's stupid. But what I'm talking about is which learn basic information like the Avogadro's number, shit like that, the integration values, like or differentiation, like sin x differentiated is cos x, and cos x differentiated is minus sin x, like shit like that. It, you have to learn it because it patience, because that's what teaches you the patience. You can see in real life that a well educated person is a very patient person. He hears your whole story. And a hippie, a person who doesn't study, have not pursued education, have not gone to a university slash college, can sometimes be a person. When you are arguing with him, he will not listen, he will keep on abusing, he will keep on shouting, he will not listen to you because he does not have any patience. Because sometimes it is also not true, but generalized case is like that only. Like there's a guy, Darren Levy, he has not gone to university, but he's a very chill, relaxed person. So yeah, there are some exceptions to it, but I'm talking about the general case.
Couldn't keep it, Juventus. Cavani.
English is also very important in like I'm talking about my country. It has a subject English because our native language is Hindi. So English, it is very important because most of the world speaks it. You have to learn. See, right now sometimes I talk Gen Z English because I talk to my friends all that, like that, you know. Oh my god, as soon as I said English and speaking English, I cannot speak only. I cannot speak. I'm thinking too much and not talking only.
Traffic, but it could be dangerous here for the opposition. It will be a free kick here.
Like, English is so important because half of the world speaks it. If you get a client from the US or Britain or somewhere, you need to know how to converse in English so that you can talk to him. You need to know 2 languages. Most least what the fuck am I saying, bro? Like minimum, I wanted to say minimum, least I cannot even.
Really getting at the opposition this far up the pitch now. Shot on. The goal for Juventus.
I couldn't even say the word. I was too focused on the game. Yeah, I was saying minimum 1 language other than your native language is required, except if your native language is spoken 90% of the by 90% of the people on this planet. But yeah, and learning 2 languages is ideally good, not like Tom Cruise who speaks like 7 languages. Yeah, so let's just don't get distracted from the topic. Let's go line wise. Geography is very important too. It's very important too. You should know where which countries and where do they lie. Like, if you don't know basic geography, how will you talk about politics? And politics is important, talking about politics. I'm not talking about my political opinion, I'm talking about general. Why you need to know about politics, why you need to know which country, which Why are you...
Referee does
See,
blow.
if you
Flag is
don't
up from
know
the assistant.
anything about politics, while other people know politics, so you would not understand why you are getting hate. Like we as Asians get hate from some Americans. Now if you don't know politics, you don't know why they do that, why they discriminate you.
Time ticking on. Just over.
Like what's the
15
reason?
minutes to go.
You will keep on asking, and it's just not that. Like the problem is I cannot remember the reasons. I remembered it a day ago, 2-3 days ago, but I cannot recall that information. There are very important points. Civics is just politics.
Tweedy. Cristiano Ronaldo.
Now let's come to mathematics.
Pressure to absorb. High up the pitch.
People say that differentiation, integration does not come in real life. I would say that's true, but not true at the same time. And some aspects of life it does come. It comes in some aspects of life if you think about it. But the thing is, those situations are very specific situations. So it's not generally in everyone. That's why it does not come. That's why maths is also very important. But see, again, basic maths is very important. Now if you go in very deep mathematics like integration, differentiation and all that, you can say it's not that important, but yeah, you should learn it, bro.
Baratti. Edison Cavani.
Yeah, and let's come to physics. See, physics is the most important, I feel like. I am studying physics right now. I'm studying motion and all that. I feel like if you have not studied physics, you don't know what I'm talking about, because if you are really into studying and you have an interest over the subject, you can actually see it happening in real life. You can see the circular motion, you can see the oscillation, you can see everything like that. And I mean, when I was studying physics a couple of weeks ago, not even a couple of weeks ago, last week. So what the fuck, bro, why did you tackle me like that? See, I studied oscillation motion, or not oscillation, I'm sorry, circular motion, in which they taught that a ball has to have a certain velocity. If the ball does not have a certain velocity, it will not perform a circular motion. And you can see that in real life also. Like I was doing experiments and shit, it was quite funny. But you get what I'm saying. Like if you study physics hard enough and have the basic interest in it and study it not for passing the exam but for retaining and gaining and retaining the knowledge, you will actually see it in real life. In previous year we studied about current. I can actually see the concept behind it. I can actually see it in my real life too. So that's what I was talking about. God damn, I don't want to study. I do not want to talk about studies again. These 4 days, it's my break time and I do not want to talk about studies. Like, damn, bro. So yeah, these are the reasons. Studies are important. I may have not told the proper good reasons with proper definition, but everybody must have felt what I'm talking about. See, I'm not a proper professional debater about topics. I can try to make you feel what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I feel like that's the most part which I could have done. Yeah.
That was close. Well hit too. Yeah, he really did get the laces behind it.
Well, the result's not in the bag yet,
But,
because we got 5
yeah,
minutes of added time.
No, the fans here not happy with that.
I would say
Prefer to
that.
hear the final whistle, maybe a reflection of how this game's going.
Yo, I don't understand one thing. This commentary Why do they have this commentary? Like they talk useless things.
Ball out of the goalkeeper actually touching the ball in this game.
Ooh, by commentary, have you guys seen that? The commentary where Ronaldo scored, he was he had a buzz cut. Not buzz cut. I don't know if he had a buzz cut, but yeah, the greatest commentary in football history.
And he was right in at the goalkeeper.
Like, I feel like if the commentator is doing a very good commentary, it will make the match really good. Like 50%. See, a person is watching the match, but sometimes unconsciously he starts hearing the commentary too, and if the commentator is talking useless stuff, then it kind of that it kind of irritates the person because he wants to hear the game about all the players shouting and all that, but he does not want to keep on hearing you talking stupid shit. Like in my case it works because you have hopped on the stream to watch me, but if you have hopped on to watch Ronaldo play, Ronaldo score, or any other footballer, you don't have to talk stupid shit. You just have to talk proper sense. And if a commentator does that, it makes the match 1,000 times more interesting. I'm telling you. Like, yeah, like that. Yo, one thing I do not realize, see, this after like 2 days, no, not, wait, today is Sunday, right? Yeah, tomorrow is Holi, okay. If you don't know what Holi is, it's an Indian festival. Indian Hindu festival. So see, I don't understand how this. Wait, I don't know. Let's select any other team. I don't understand how it works, how friendship works. But see, I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you about it. I was friends. I had few friends in my 10th. When I completed my 10th, when I gave my examination of 10th, we started roaming too much with my school friends. Yeah. Wait, where's Messi? Is Messi in Argentina? Spain. He must be in Barcelona. Yeah. One sec. Let me just select the team. France. Where's France? We should actually talk about friends because it's not a generalized topic. Ah man. Yo, I always wondered one thing. Do viewers like streamers who curse more? Like not like fucking that. What that neon? Not like neon. That's excessive cursing. Like basically a person who generally curses probably in after every 2 or 3 or 4 minutes, or like Nicky 30 who does not curse one single word in his whole life, full family friendly 100%. Like I can become family friendly, but I wish not to because that's not me. I curse, I abuse, I am like that. I'm not proud of it, but I am. Okay, let me just change the match. I cannot see shit. The opponent team is so much that similar to mine. Okay, I want to talk about one thing. Why does people say that football has died? Like, yeah, Ronaldo is still playing, Messi is still playing, but I have a theory on why people say that football has died. It's because it's changing, right? There's been decades. It's like a change between like the Maradona. Wait, I pronounced that so badly. Maradona, and Pele. All those people, all those legends. Yeah. That. Who was that person? I forgot his name. He scored that half line, the goal from that. Who that? Dude, I can't remember his name. He got an accident also. Wait, was he? Okay, let's just take Maradona and Pele for example. Like that period, and then it comes the Messi and Ronaldo period. There's a shift between the people, between the generation. So I feel like those generation would have also said that it's the end of football. Like I would say your father, your parents must have said that, and it happens again. So I feel like football has not died. It's just that our legends are getting old, and they are retiring, and the new upcoming youngsters are taking their place. So that's what's happening. Because how can specifically a sport die? You know what I mean? Like you can actually see it. Mbappe coming, Haaland coming, all those people, and football legends like Zlatan Ibrahimovic, they are retiring. It's kind of a sad moment for people who have been watching those for years. It's kind of like your own.
Barcelona, they play Paris Saint-Germain.
One sec. Yes, I'm back. Let me see. Am I unmuted? Yeah. So yeah, it's like that. The legends are probably getting replaced by the youngsters because they are retiring. And people don't like that. People don't like changes. You can see it everywhere. But yeah, it's sad. I started watching Ronaldo a few years ago. Like often there and here. Like I would see his highlights and all that. It's kind of sad.
Denied by the assistant.
But it's like life. Like there are good moments, there are bad moments, and then there are moments where it's nothing. Like those moments are easily forgettable. But dude, I feel like how it is going, Ronaldo and Messi will play in the 2026 World Cup, okay? Mostly they should play because they are still that. But I feel like I don't know, I feel like they will be will they live up to the expectation? Because see, obviously they are literally the age of our parents. So will their body allow all these major expectations to fulfill all those major expectations? Because see, they have set the expectations bar so high that anything little bit below to it will be immediately met by disappointment. Like I am not saying that everyone will criticize them, but small will be disappointed. They will expect the same performance as their prime youth. prime youth, but it's not
Yeah, and he might not get a chance.
biologically possible because they're old now, and that's what makes me sad. It's not that they're retiring, because what do you expect? Will they play on 150 years? No, they will retire someday. But yeah, I feel sad that
Barcelona always expect to win.
I do not feel sad if they perform bad. I feel sad if they feel bad about performing bad, you know? Like, because see, they are training every day, and if they are not able to perform, then if they take it okay, like, yeah, we are old, it's alright, we tried, we failed, it's alright, then I'm not sad. But if they start to feel bad that we have not succeeded after so much of hard work, then I feel sad. I don't care. I literally don't care if Ronaldo wins the World Cup. I'm a Ronaldo fan, by the way. If Ronaldo wins the World Cup, but I will feel major sad. I will be literally crying if Ronaldo cries, because I don't like to see them sad. That's it. I don't like to see them sad.
It's Barcelona in front.
I don't like to see them sad. I literally cried when Ronaldo cried against that Morocco game. Yeah, bro. It made me hate Man City. Made me literally hate Ten Hag, that coach.
Got in the way. And he's knocked it out of play, the defender. Let's see what footwear
You
the
know,
team's going to actually use today. Now that this rain is coming down, might have to change what they originally started with.
Yeah, and I think sometimes with
you know, that taught me a lot of things of how to deal with things if they have not gone your way. If things have not gone on your way, how to deal with the disappointment. Dude, I also heard like a YouTube short that if Mbappe would have won the World Cup, he would have become the man of the match. Because I don't know if he would have, but he would have become that very, 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 that, what? Very, 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 that had a very good chance of winning the Ballon d'Or because he has won the World Cup. He would have actually would have been considered a greatest youngster of all time. Why? Because he has won the World Cup in 2018. He has won the world. What the fuck is world? Won the World Cup of 2018, 2023. Wait, 2022. I'm sorry, 2022, and he would have that. And by that, if he would have won the Ballon d'Or, he would have actually been considered by some people as the greatest of all time. That's just like, there are so many possibilities. I can't even tell you. But yeah, dude, I actually heard one thing also. I just confirmed it. It's real that they have banned the name Messi in Argentina. Imagine being so good at football that they ban your name in your home country. Damn. Damn, bro. Damn. So how are you guys doing, bro? How are you guys doing? Is life good? Is life good? Oh, it's raining, damn, bro. In the game, of course.
It's impossible for the goalkeeper to reach it right up into the top corner.
Yeah, a couple of keepers wouldn't have got a hand on that.
Dude, I have been thinking, why is there so many platforms recently coming up? There are so many streaming platforms coming up. It doesn't even make sense. There's Kick, there's Twitch, there's YouTube, there's Loco. I'm sorry. There's so many platforms, and I'm thinking, that has made me think that Dude, some people's hard work is based on a single platform. Their lifetime's hard work. Let's take Neon for example. He streamed on YouTube for a very long time. Okay, so his whole life's hard work is on YouTube. Imagine YouTube deletes his channel for some any controversies he would have gotten in, like J Station did, and they deleted his channel. Your whole life's hard work, your youth, your childhood, your whole life, basically even your generation, your upcoming generation's fate is on a single platform's hand. That's too much power, I think. Like, I don't know how to feel about that, because they can imagine you working, like imagine Mr. Beast. Twitter just wants to cancel Mr. Beast. It's his only option, only that wish. Like Twitter just wants to cancel Mr. Beast for any damn reason. They just want him cancelled. So he have been streaming since years, I feel like 2015, I guess. I don't know the exact date, but yeah. So if he gets cancelled for some stupid reason and YouTube decides to delete his account, his whole life has gone. Whole life's hard work on a single platform has gone. You could debate that, yeah, he would have stored his videos in he would have had his video stored and he would upload it to any other website and still earn money, but major income. And see, he has around 200 mil, okay, 200 mil subscribers. Let's take for example roughly around only 20-30 million people will watch that now, and you will say, dude, 20-30 million is too much. But see the percentage ratio. If somebody has 100,000 subscribers, only 2,000 will see. If somebody has 2,000 subscribers, only 200 will see. If somebody has 200, only 1 or 2 will see it. Like what I'm talking about. So YouTube can any time fuck you up, and you know that, and still you are working on it. Like, why do companies have so much power? Like, I know a person has done bad, then only he will get cancelled. And potentially YouTube only deletes the account in very rare cases. But you can't deny the possibility. If YouTube fucks up, your life's gone. Your life's hard work is gone. Imagine your ex works in YouTube. She has a power, and just because you broke up with her because she was a toxic person, you ruined your life. She ruined your life. Like, isn't that supposed to be like, yeah, we stream on YouTube because we chose that platform, but I don't know, bro. It's just made me so confused, this thought, that I don't know how to approach, how to go with this. All my mind thinks is about this.
Now the shot! Oh, that's great work by the goalkeeper. Good work, really, to read the intention of the pass. Supporting player alongside. Piqué. It's Messi. They've lost the ball, and the counter-attack could be there. Well, plenty of speed, but not much organisation.
I'm sorry, I'm back.
Di Maria. Dani Alves.
Yeah, let's just switch the topic, bro. That's making me I'm not able to concentrate on that. Man, I can't talk. I'm not able to concentrate on the talking or the playing. So yeah, let's just take that topic. Damn.
The referee is chosen 4 added minutes. Luis Suarez. Sergio Busquets. Piqué. Ivan Rakitic. Bernat. Just read the intentions of the opposition there to make the interception. There's good progress with this attack. Here's the shot.
Look, I wonder
Here's the chance to get in the cross.
how have OnlyFans became as a profession. Dude, that was a goal. That was a goal. That was a goal. That was a goal. What the fuck? Okay, it's half time. Like, have they gone? Ah, man. It makes me think. Have we gone that?
You don't often get a first half as one-sided as this one.
Have we failed? Have we failed as that much as a society that selling yourself has become a career option?
And they get it away.
Selling yourself has become a career option. Like, how do they even make money? I feel like most of the people are not that popular, or are they? I feel like it would work for people like Pokemon, Sniper Wolf, because they have built a community together, and now that community has grown up. So now, of course, the hormones kicks in, and they are like, damn, bro. So yeah, I feel like that would work. But streamers who have just come up, how does the OnlyFans work? Like, you are just a random person I could see online without paying any money. Why will it work?
It's a very good interception. Now it's
like,
offside, and it looks as though it might be in to score.
Oh, see, I've never bought OnlyFans because I'm not that
Messi, his first half
desperate. Oh, it must be because of the talking stuff, because you could actually talk to them, right? So you find them as your that. What the fuck? You could actually, if they are like your body type, you could actually talk to them. They could fill your request. Yeah, it's like a campsite or what? I feel like. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like the idea very much. I don't think it as FOMO or something. It's just that, damn, have we fallen that bad? It's shit like that. I respect, I respect the people who make OnlyFans a joke. Like, you can see Darren Levy, a person on YouTube. He is a professional Uber driver. Professional, I don't know if Uber driving is considered a profession. You can say professional driver. He has created a OnlyFans where he just shows his nose. Like, what the fuck? And he did not scam. He told everyone, I'm only going to show my nose. It's a nose fan. And that's what I like. And he donated that money which he made to the, I don't know, animal, I think so. I don't know which foundation. It's a charity. He donated it to some charity. Like, I like that, where it's fun. It's not degrading or selling yourself, selling your respect, self-respect.
Smoothly through the gears here into an attacking position.
Selling your self-respect. It's just a joke, and the money made will be gone to charity. So of course you are you are donating to a charity in a fun way.
Here's Marquinhos.
That's what is very that. That's what his most likable trait is. OnlyFans should be like that. But yeah, if many people do it, what's the point? We need creeps to be somewhere, I feel like it has done one good thing. If there should be like a free version, so that the creeps do not stay in Facebook and stay over there. You know what I mean? Like there should be a specific app creeps so that if you post a photo on that specific app, you know what's the response and all that could be, so that the other platforms are clean. Because I heard Facebook is actually having the major problem, the major thing of course, other than being outdated and not being able to come up with the request of Gen Zs, and Gen Zs feeling it as a boomer app, is that people don't feel safe. There are too much adult shit in Facebook. It's old too, and it's too much of adult shit. Dude, talking about Facebook, I heard like a news or YouTube video which I saw where people are accusing teenagers or teen people of being exposed to adult shit on Instagram, and they are suing and actually talking to Mark Zuckerberg about this problem, that what have you done to the problem of teens getting exposed to fucking adultery. And I'm like, what the fuck? What the actual fuck? Why do teens, like not even teens, it's like 13, like it's a teen but like a very early teen, like a 13, 12-year-old have a smartphone in general, and with that too, with Instagram, why they do not need it? 17, you can have Instagram in 17. It's early, but yeah, it's alright to have Instagram in 17 when you are already exposed to that shit.
He's quick enough, just need to do that. An easy one for the linesman.
But having it in early teenage is weird, bro. It's fucking weird. Like all I had was a fucking smartphone, which only, not even smartphone, a small keypad phone which had radio playing in it, and I would wear my earphones and listen to stupid ass radio ads and some good songs. Like that was the vibe. You can't even understand the vibe it gives. Yeah, I'm a Gen Z, but my parents raised me right. Dude, that should be on a fucking t-shirt. That should be on a t-shirt. I'm a Gen Z, but my parents raised me right. Wait, could that be a song too? Like that, you could easily develop it into a song. I'm a Gen Z, but my parents raised me right.
Well, you've only got to look at the screen to see how
yeah, I can't think of any good line. Anything I would say after this will be fucking cringe. Yeah, but it's a good line. You can put it on a t-shirt. Sell it to yourself. Should I make a stream where I don't abuse, and the title will be I'm a Gen Z, my parents raised me right? Ooh. Damn, boy, that's a shit ass header.
Hit it well, just needed a bit more luck with that effort.
You know, I made few songs. I made like a bunch of songs. I made 8 songs when I was these 5 months when I last streamed. During that time I made 5 songs, but you know what happened? I had them on my laptop. I switched it to a pen drive, and I deleted that shit on my laptop. I copied it to my pen drive, and I fucking lost the pen drive. Now my 8 songs are just lost. It's fucking lost. I can even tell you a line because it doesn't really matter. I forgot, I lost the song. It's like, I be gaming in my sweater, trying to forget her, but the DMs keep my head up. My life looks like a crater. It's like that. The line starts with, I be gaming in my sweater, trying to forget her, but her DMs. There were 2 words which were that rhyming. It was I be gaming in my sweater, trying to forget her, but her DMs or memories. I be gaming in my sweater, trying to forget her, but her DMs / memories keep my head up. My life looks like a way. My life, yeah, my life. Then I forgot the line. It's like my life, and then I forgot. But yeah, that was dope ass songs, and I fucking lost them. I still have a few songs on my sleeve, but yeah, those songs I will drop them if I get famous. I may drop them. Yeah. I may drop them, but not right now because I need to focus. In a few years I will probably drop them. But yeah, it's gonna have like a fucking 20 views, but that's a G move, bro. I love it. You know, the thing is, I actually don't know how to make a song. I just like I made the song. I don't know how to make it patent. I don't know how to put lyrics and melody to it. I don't know how to do all that stuff, all the technical stuff. So I'm just waiting so that I get that. I get the education. I finally understand how to do that. Because my school fucking removed computer when I was in 6th grade, and now I am fucking that computer illiterate. So I'm just waiting for my studies to over in mid 2025 and then learn computer. Yeah, my school thought computer is useless. It's not useful in future. And guess what? Computers only useful in future. So yeah, I'm fucking stupid in computers. My friend over here, he upgraded my Windows 7 to Windows 10, and I was like, dude, you are a savior. And he was like, bruh, chill, it's a fucking easy shit. And I'm like, bruh.
Lost the ball here, Rakitic.
Well, anyways, it was the first time he helped me in something good. He was actually did some meaningful shit to me. Otherwise, he would just joke around. Yeah, he would just joke around and make my mood good. Other than that, he did something for me. That's good, I guess, dude. But yeah, I don't understand why people make like hundreds of friends. Like, you're a friend to everybody. Yeah, that's one line I heard. It's such a good line. Like, I love that line. If a person is friends with everybody, then he is friends with no one. You know? Or it was like, if a friend knows everyone, he is friends with no one. Like that. I love it. I love that line. You can't have many friends. That means if you get like in a argument with a friend, you will just leave that friend, and friendships don't work like that. That's what happened to me. That's what happened. I was friends with my school friends, but sometimes we get in arguments, right? I went in an argument with them, and they fucking thought that I am showing ego, I'm showing standards and attitude, and they left me. And I'm like, bruh, we have been chilling for 7 years. Yeah, you heard me right, 7 fucking years. I've been friends with some people for 7 fucking years, and they just didn't fucking care. That's sad, I know, but damn. And you know what's the worst part? A woman came into all of this. And you know what's the even worst part in that? I didn't give a shit about that woman. He couldn't have the maturity to talk to me. He couldn't have the maturity to talk to me before thinking that I like that woman. And you know even what's the fucked up part in that? She was my ex. Damn. So I sometimes wonder that was never a friend to work with, begin with. Like, okay, let's tell you in that proper sense. I and a girl A was not in a relationship, but yeah, she liked me. I was like, yeah, she's cute and all that shit. Yeah, people thought we were in a relationship. Yeah, in a few years, I totally told her, nah, bro, I'm good, single life forever. Yeah, shit like that. So after a few years, I didn't know my friend, because I'm stupid. Boys are stupid. Teenage boys are stupid. They don't get any hints. My friend has started liking that girl. I didn't know that. One time, she left her friend group. I invited her back. I'm like, bro, let's not fuck up the group. This is the 4th group. Let's not fuck this up. I invited her back into the group, and he thought I am dating her. And he removed me from the fucking group. And don't think that, oh, you removed me from the group, I'm going to break a friendship. No, I talked to him, and he's like, nah, bro, nah. I saw that cold distance, and I was like, bro, come on. Then he started roaming with friends, with my own school friends, and he's specifically not inviting me. Then on his birthday, he made a party. I did not ask him because I knew he didn't want me, so I did not say anything about his birthday. After a few days, one of my friends told me, why didn't you not come to the birthday? I said, I wasn't invited. And he said, bro, he called you, but he said you did not pick up. Then I realized that this friendship is over, because if you are going to lie to people that you invited me, and I have no record of him calling me or even sending me a text, that means you don't want me in your life. So fuck this shit, bro. I'm gone. It's alright. I'll ghost you, bro. I don't give a shit. Now he sometimes messages me. It's like when he thinks of me, remembers me. Yeah, this is a person which I used to talk to, and he was a friend for 7 fucking years. He messages me, and I'm like, fuck this shit. I ghosted him, and my life has been, dude. It's so good, my life now. I got rid of the snake, bro. Got rid of that fucking little dipshit. See, I am loyal. I don't like to wait, let me one sec. Let me just select a team. I don't know what I'm doing. Spain. Yeah, Barcelona. See, I am loyal. I don't do that shit. That I would talk good in front of him and then back bitch him. But I don't like. Yeah, so don't think that, oh, I must have been a back bitch and shit like that, so he must have broke friendship. No, I'm not like that. But yeah. But dude, you can't even know how many times my friendships has been that I've lost friends. I've lost friends of 7 years. I've lost friends of 5 years. I've lost friends of 2 years. I've lost friends of 1 year. I've lost friends of 2 months. I've lost friends of 2 weeks. And you would say, yeah, you are a shit person. You must be a shit person. Well, I am never agree. I'm never saying no. I may be a shit person. I don't know, but I tried my level best to be friends with them. But yeah, so I've given up on the fucking idea of being friends with anyone.
Hi there, everybody. I'm Martin Tyler. Alan Smith.
I'm like, if we are going to become friends, it's gonna happen. I'm not over here going to be dying for it. I said, fuck this shit. I'm going to act naturally. Dude, there was a stage in my life where I started changing my thoughts, starting changing everything because I thought my friends would like me more if I did that. And after a few months, I realized this is not me. I'm totally changing up. I don't like my new attitude. I want to be myself, you know. So yeah. Then I thought, now I will be myself. Fuck that. If anybody wants to be friends with me, he can. If he doesn't want to be, he can, you know, he can part ways on good terms if he want, or we can part terms on bad ways. I don't give a shit. So yeah, after that my life's been good. My life's been good. Damn. My life's been good, bro. After that, I've been playing games. I rejected an offer from that same guy on Holi that wanna hang out. I said, nah, bro, I'm busy. He said, it's all right, bro. The plan cancelled. He asked me, would you want to row? Would you want to hang out tomorrow? I said, nah, bro, I'm busy. After a few hours, he wrote this, that nah, it's all right, bro. The plan got cancelled only. And I knew what he was doing. He's like, nah, you did not reject us, we cancelled the plan and shit like that. I just wrote, okay, cool, bro. What I'm saying is, my whole conclusion is just cut off people. You need to know how to cut off people. I'm not talking about parents and your brothers, your siblings and all that. I'm just talking about your friends and all that people, which are actually giving you the toxicity. If your parents or your siblings or anyone is giving you toxicity, just distance yourself. Eventually you will come around and you will feel again. Don't cut your parents off, bro, please. But yeah, friends who you know, if friends, yeah, if they are actually like that, what I'm describing, like, you should actually cut them off. It's for your own good, bro. Because eventually, if you don't, you are actually going to be really sad of what they do. If they don't, it's better to be not friends with friends who don't invite you and try to, you know, make you sad. So yeah, I've actually cut down a majority of my friends who does that I'm friends with them. It's not like, yeah, he just didn't want to invite you because you are not close enough. It's not that. I know, I'm not stupid. It's like, the behavior is like, I'm intentionally not going to invite him so that he sees my snaps and feels bad. Those people I have cut off. because you can understand
have to say
that
it's
if
so
there's a group of
one-sided
8
today,
people,
but all
7
credit to
people
the
are
team
invited, and
racking up
you
the
hear
goals.
from other people that you were invited but you did not pick up the messages, or you did not pick up the calls or
Sergio
messages.
Roberto.
So yeah, you understand that shit, that who is playing a double game. So you remove those people, please remove them from your life. Those people are very trash.
Hit it well. Oh, just shaved the bar.
Yeah,
Oh,
unlucky.
I'm drinking
Hits it
water,
well
please.
enough.
Hold on a minute.
Dembele.
Yo, what's up with
Saw the pass
Amber
coming
Heard?
and got there first.
That isn't it like that case really died? Like no one's even. It's like COVID. It's really weird that no one's even mentioning it. Like you can see, no one's actually mentioned COVID. Like I'm not even going to say the word. I'm just going to say C. I feel like it's because that if you utter that word, if you say that word,
Intercepting.
it brings, I think so,
Mbappe.
something on your YouTube. It like brings that headline or that
He's way off target.
fucking shit on your video of guidelines and all that. So that's why I think so they don't say the word or discuss it. But what's up with Johnny that dude, I forgot his name. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case. No one's even talking about it. Like I've not seen a single reel, single comment, single video on that coming in my recommendation. What's up with that?
Shots up.
Like I saw Sam Bucha video where he says that we have actually forgot. I didn't even remember Taylor that Amber Heard existed. And I'm like, yeah, bro, me too. Like, what the fuck? It's so weird. Like in 2000 mid 23, we are talking about it. It was live streamed. It was talking about. It was being talked everywhere. Stepped on a B, came to P. All the shit was going on, and now there's not even a mention of it. I feel like that's how shit dies. Like Travis Scott, not Travis Scott. He just released his new album, but like Justin Bieber and all that. Eventually they become irrelevant, and sometimes they do dumb shit to stay relevant. Some people do dumb shit
Marvellous to watch.
Yeah, they barely disappoint.
which eventually instead of being relevant fucks up their reputation.
For a long time now.
I like how Justin Bieber has not done dumb shit to stay relevant in 2024. I feel like if he produces a song which becomes famous, massively famous, he can again become relevant in 2024.
It's Rakitic.
He did some dumb shit. He did one dumb shit. I remember he stole that song "Love Yourself" from Ed Sheeran. Not even stole. Like Ed Sheeran gave him that song, but he did not give him. He should have given him credit. But yeah, all he did was not giving credit, and he did some dumb shit. Yeah, he did some dumb shit with that breakup and all that. I remember that of Taylor Swift, that fire prank and all that.
Verratti.
Except a few things, he had not done something major like Neon did, or like many people have done. He had not like Logan Paul did, scamming people. He had not done major bad stuff. Major, not like I would actually say many bad stuffs. Like yeah, a few mistakes he has done, which are very big. But yeah.
Stops the play. Flag went up. Referee blew.
You know, I was seeing Aisha Speed's song yesterday. I don't know, bro. I liked one of his songs. I like the second song. 3 songs he has put till now. I like the second song, but I feel like
Saw the ball went for it.
black music was so much better a few years ago.
Break quickly when they get possession.
Like it's not black music, but it's like general music. I also heard that there are so many melodies are getting repeated. Like there are not enough melodies to keep up with the song.
Right direction with this goal. And they have reduced.
There are not many melodies which can keep up with the song. songs which are getting produced. I heard that Tokyo Animals melody is actually recently used twice. Once in I don't know many years ago and one recently.
3-1 it is now, the scoreline.
So yeah, melody is also getting that finished. But generally I was saying that I don't like the today's music which is coming out. It's just mindless music. I feel like it's not, it does not actually mean anything. It's like you would actually argue that some have it, some of them that singers whole idea is based upon these. First of all, just to clarify, I don't consider Ice Spice. I don't consider Ice Spice or Cardi B as singers because all they do is talk sex in their songs. There's no meaning behind it. Like WAP, Wet Ass Pussy. Like it's just her describing how she has sex, and most of her that fans are males who just is that want her for her body. Like, has she given a proper deep heart-touching song like Akon has does in his lonely or any other deep song which touches your soul? It makes you wonder. No, right? It does not. Like, yeah. I feel like they try to just put random words together for the melody. All they want is the melody or the rhyming. If they even talk little bit of sense, if there's a little bit of story and sense behind the songs, it would actually become super hit. And you know what's up? Few streamers, it's like not streamers, I'm sorry. Few singers have now done that. And what's the stupid thing is happening is that new upcoming singers are doing the same thing and not getting popular. And they are thinking, why are we not getting popular? And I'm like, bro, you have to build a connection with your audience. Building a connection with your audience and then singing random shit will actually be alright for your career. Why? Because if you build connection with your audience will see it, and you have not built a connection on your audience. So right now your audience will judge you on your career and not on yourself. You know what I mean? Like let's take example. Let's take Logan Frank. He is a singer. He is a singer with 2,000 subscribers. He is not building a proper connection with his audience.
So here we go for the second half.
His songs, some songs are always like fuck, shit, dip, shit, like all those shit. He should build a connection with an audience. He should provide songs with a heart-touching, soul-touching, and then when he gets famous, he could produce some songs in between like these so that he would get time to produce heart-touching songs. You know what I mean? Like it's like that. You know what I've been saying?
Now it goes wide to Messi. Probing away, trying to find room for a shot maybe. And shoots! Was a chance maybe to hit the target. Certainly went for strength.
Nothing wrong with a connection.
Like that happens more than you think it does. But I don't know. I guess everyone has its own strategy. Wait, what someone commented? Yeah, by Addict Gamer. Yeah, bro, I wonder too.
What we've got
That's
here
what
is
I've been
hopefully
saying,
winning.
bro. I
Be
wonder that
awaiting.
too. Like,
Frustrated because it
that
looks like
shit
there's a
is
running down of the clock going on here.
Yeah, there's a bit of
real.
gamesmanship going on, but you've got to expect that as they try and see out this lead that they've got.
Dude, I have also heard
Keep it.
one thing, that companies are doing the Mandela effect purposely to show how easy it is to change the history, and I'm like, damn, that actually made me
Very good interception.
like, that actually had me goosebumps, because a guy, there was a person, I don't remember who, he opened a 19 very old Monopoly game where the guy had specs in it, where the guy had like a monocle on it, and the company claims that there's been never a piece we developed, created, where the guy, the logo guy, had a monocle on it. It always had the specs, but if you open it, the old version has a monocle on it and not a specs. The specs are only on the newer version, and I'm like, damn, why did they lie? And then he tells me the reason. He tells me it's because the companies are trying to prove how easy it is to change the history, and I'm like, bro, the fact that it is true, many people believed it. There was Sam Bucha created a YouTube video in which he told the Mandela effect, and he said the company claimed it was never done before. He ended the video, and people were actually agreeing to it that they were never seen, and they have changed the history. Like, damn, that makes you wonder, is history really that true? Or they could have manipulated that. You know, America, how's America? They actually manipulated shit so that it benefits them. So could have America or any other country who made history, who wrote all those, who grabbed the historical manuscripts first and changed the history so that it would benefit them, and we have been learning the wrong history. That actually makes me that wonder and question everything. That makes me question everything. That have we been lied to? Because we all know governments lie to us. It's evident. It's actually the truth. We cannot hide from it. We actually know from that they cannot hide the truth. But yeah, what if Hitler never suicided? Like, what if Hitler never suicided and they actually gained very valuable and very important information, but just to hide all those information and controversies and all that, and all those telling to the media shit, responding to the media, they just told him that as soon as we entered, he died with his one-day wife. But what if he did not suicide? What if they got all the information they needed? Or what if their plan was to, they captured him, then they faked his death as a suicide, took him out that as a disguise, tortured him for years, gained all the information, and then killed him? It's a conspiracy, but you know that Mandela effect shit created many conspiracies which could have been true. And it just makes me question everything. Today, today, I feel like anyone who is talking to me may be lying. That's what the internet have done. Mass scale lying. It's like interview. What is an interview? A person said interview is like two gentlemen lying to each other. Or not gentlemen, two people lying to each other. What is the government? What is politics?
I have to say it's so one-sided today, but all credit to the team that are racking up the goals. Good interception.
You could say politics is the bended truth, or you could just straight up say that politics is a bad lie. No, I'm sorry. You could say politics is a good lie, because sometimes they bend the truth and sometimes they straight up lie. Politicians do lie. That is for a fact. What about the government? They do lie, bro.
Mbappe.
And they fuck up too. They fuck up too. That's what the UK government has been doing. They're fucking up. They are fucking up their reputation of their army. So now no one gives a shit about their army. People are getting accused with molestation. Army veterans of 10, 20 years are getting that. Accused with molestation, and the women are actually winning without any proper evidence, and people are just burning their jerseys. I saw a video, a guy on a ice that ice platform burned his jersey. Not jersey, what the fuck am I saying? This is football or what? Uniform. A veteran burned his uniform and said, I've wasted 10 years for this whole country, for the damn country. And I'm like, damn. In my country, soldiers are respected like anything. And I wondered that a person, how could you not respect a soldier, a veteran, that to a veteran who has devoted his whole life to save you? You do not know that person, you do not own anything. If he sees you, he will not ask you for anything. All he has done is for some low fucking cash, very low cash, just to make his family or run his family. For some low cash has saved you from millions of traumatic incidents. He saved your family, he saved you, putting his life on the line, potentially putting everything God has given him. The only thing God has given him is his life, and risking it away for your safety, for your good life, for your good Christmas moments, for your good fucking memories with a child, with your children. You are out here accusing him of crime that he has never committed. How bad could you have been a person? Like, you don't even deserve the boiler room in the hell, bro. Like, I am racist, I am sexist, I am a very bad person, I know, but I am not that bad to accuse a soldier, bro. Like, come on. That's why Andrew Tate and everyone has said that that is a failed society. See, I'm not commenting anything, I'm just discussing the topic. You can leave your suggestion in the comments, but yeah, I'm not saying anything. I'm just telling what's been happening and what's my views on it. Not my views, what has everyone said and what's the general idea in among people. This is not what I am saying, it's what my people, not my people also, what other people are thinking. Yeah, what?
Sergio Busquets. Suarez.
Guys, there was a call from my lawyer. He said don't talk this, otherwise you're going to get cancelled. Now I'm just joking. Let's just light up the mood. We don't have to talk so deep. People have come here to chill, I remember. So yeah, let's just keep that aside, bro. Let's finish up this game, bro.
Yeah, I think his positioning made it easier than it might have been.
Take the corner. It's Marquinhos.
Nice bit of footwork from the attacker. It was made too easy for him. Poor defending that.
But yeah, it's sad though. People should really learn to respect people.
Sergio Roberto.
They should not.
Lionel Messi. Vidal.
They should learn how to respect others.
Coutinho. No conviction now. They definitely think they're beaten. It was a chance, but they're not going to get back into the game even if he had scored.
Aren't people becoming too insocial nowadays? Like, aren't people becoming too that alone? Not talking to anyone, just in your room all day and all that like that. Isn't it the major cause of suicide in Japan?
doubt that
Yeah,
the
why have I
scoreline
come to
reflects
side again?
realistically
Come on.
the nature of the game. Nothing false about it. They've thoroughly deserved to be so far ahead.
Let's focus on some of the gaming part now. Can we? No, this ball is so damn circular.
Could have played him in.
Okay.
The goalkeeper relieved that he didn't. Well, the ball's
Come on,
up.
what's
There's
the...
gonna be 4 extra
Oh, I
minutes.
lost the ball. Come on, bro.
Loses possession.
I don't know if lob pass helps actually, because many times the person can't even handle the strength which it goes through and actually loses the ball. Okay, +4 added minutes. We don't want a kicker in this because we don't want Ronaldo to leave it. Not even Ronaldo, like the Messi and Neymar. Not Messi, I'm sorry, Mbappe and Neymar to leave their position. Ooh, that was a pole touch. That was a pole touch, and that was a shit shot. Shit shot. Damn, bruh. Ooh, the match ended. Who's the man of the match? Let's see.
Well, it turned out to be a different kind of game.
Who could be the match? That's Suarez.
Very one-sided.
That's Neymar.
A bit disappointed as a neutral because we didn't really get a contest, but the winning team won't be disappointed at all. Played well.
Neymar Junior, everybody.
What did you make of the way Neymar influenced this game
That's
today?
little boy from
Really good day at the office.
Rosario, Argentina.
Himself a couple in a win. Couldn't be much better.
Yeah, it's Neymar, right? Yeah, Neymar has done 2 goals.
Today, we might have had a different result, but the fact
Yeah,
is he was below par,
Neymar may
as
be
was
that
his team.
man of the match. Maybe Neymar. Who is it? It's Neymar. Okay, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate you guys tuning in the streams, watching. I'm really sorry if today's stream has gone a little bit intense and deep. I really don't tend it to be so intense. I just want some chill gameplay with some chill talking. I'm really sorry, but yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Have a nice take it easy and have a nice life.